Welcome! Welcome, legends and heli heads and choppers and lovers of all things radio control, and of course the geeks. Let's not forget the geeks. There's plenty of geeks in this hobby. Welcome to another episode on Heli Shed. Now, the Bell 222 build is still going ahead. Still going ahead in the background, and I'll bring you an update video on that soon. And of course, I'm posting regular videos with flights, etc., and I hope they're of interest to you and you're enjoying them. This video is about expanding our current helicopters that we have at Heli Shed. We can see them all here. Beautiful Phoenix. We've got a new one there, Blade 450X. Bit retro, but we'll visit that at some point. Beautiful Simba, of course, and Nala there, which is currently up for sale on eBay. I'm sorry, love, but it's time you went. I don't need two of you, and I prefer Simba, because Simba's got new clothes. This video is about the attack of the clones. That's right. In our hobby, over the years, I'm afraid no matter where we've gone, it seems a clone will appear. And you either like them, loathe them, or hate them, or love them. One of those four, in my view. Some people are indifferent. The amount of people that are out there that are so vehemently against clones is quite unusual and quite bizarre. This video is about one clone in particular. Yes, you. The ALZRC 505 Fast Devil, in this case the very rare Angry Bird edition. We're going to do an unboxing, we're going to talk about clones in general, and I expect this video to be a bone of contention. Some people will agree with it, most people will disagree with my point of view, and that I'm absolutely certain of. But that's fine, that's what a free world is all about. Post your comments and disdain below, and I will of course read it and respect it. But my Heli Shed, my channel, my Angry Bird. Welcome to the Heli Shed, Angry Bird. Gives a kiss. Now, I'll give you an apology up front, and that is that you're not going to be able to look at my beautiful face throughout this, because it's not me that's important. What is important is seeing what we get for our money, so to speak. Before we start, I'm going to give a shout out to the guy I bought this from, Naz, in London. Naseem, you've been absolutely fantastic to deal with, and thank you very much for passing this bird on to me. Very interesting story there. The guy, Naseem, had this for 2-3 years, essentially boxed up in his house, and you know, he lives in London, and he never actually got round to building it, and that was because, of course, the dickwads and idiots who decided to fly their drones near Heathrow, of course, as we know, well, that was the start of the end for many. And the start of what we now have, which is basically, in a nutshell, over 250 grams of regulated environment when it comes to flying anything in the air. So this is the first time that he has seen the bits and pieces inside this box. He never even opened it. And of course, he will get to see the bird built, and he will get to see the bird fly. And you know what? Maybe he could come up to the Midlands and fly it when it's all done. That would be a nice end to the story, and I think a wonderful way to go forward. Right, enough of me. I'm going to move the camera. Hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on and you can hear me all right. I'm using some fandangled camcorder. I'm not sure it's better than a phone. Just saying, just saying. But we're going to do this whole video on this camcorder, and I'll evaluate afterwards whether I sell it, throw it, drown it, or just go back to the phone. Right, eyes down for a full house. Okay, so what this video isn't is a story about the devil or ALZRC. It's not some form of documentary. You can go to the Discovery Channel for that sort of thing. But look, ALZRC have been around since 2007, and they then you know, they were very much in, and at that point they were doing parts for T-Rex and for Gowie actually. You know, they come up with their first sort of helicopter, which is very much a sort of clone on the Saab 500. And the parts are a bit crappy, to be perfectly honest with you. Of course they bundled it with the K-bar, which upset Mikado, as you can imagine. That then started the Mikado War. And of course it also came packaged with, or on this particular one, liveried with the Angry Bird, which of course created a patent and trademark war. Very important with boxes, that we keep boxes, we know that, guys, yeah? It's a shame actually, because that is a really, really nice box, and you've just been seeing these boxes, of undoing them. You know, without doubt, I mean, you saw the unboxing of the T-Rex that I done, the £1,700 worth of helicopter, and already I can tell you that I feel in a good place. This is quality boxing, it feels really, really good. This is not a copy of, I don't know why I'm turning these boxes around, but you know, these boxes look good. Anyway, yeah, so a sort of copy on the Saab 500, and people got very, very upset about it. But ironically, you know, we accepted the Taros and the Hobby Kings and all the other sort of clones, but we really pushed back on ALZRC, and the main reason for that, to be honest with you, because the parts were crap. Simple as that. These fell out of the sky. But there has been some big changes since then. Although they started life off as perhaps a contentious brand, in my view they certainly have established themselves under their own brand. Now there are still some people out there who say, well, it's a clone, it's a copy. Well, you know, come on. Cars have four wheels and doors and a roof and a chassis. You know, there isn't much of a design that's a change around a car. A BMW Z4 is the same as the Toyota Celica, the Toyota Supra now. There are lots of things that look the same. We have to remember, of course, this comes from China. There's no such thing as a copyright law in China. You know, manufacturers go to China because it's cheap labour, and what they do is they're very happy to use their factories and their staff create their product, and then they go absolutely apeshit afterwards when Chinese manufacturers then, you know, make the parts better than the originals, which is what ALZRC has done, and then market it as their own. I mean, that is Chinese culture. Chinese culture is you know, copy until you get a master of it. And if you don't like that, then don't send your work to China. It's as simple as that. So anyway, down to the unboxing, let's go. And you're seeing this for the first time. I have undone this box because obviously I had a chat with the Angry Bird Canopy. Here's some frame parts here. Looks very good. Anodised aluminium. We've got washers in there for the screws, etc. I won't go into too much details on this unboxing. John Salt, actually, up there, I believe. John Salt's done a really good sort of partial build update. I'm not going to do that on this, and he went into the parts a bit more. So it's worth going and have a look at that. This is just on this particular helicopter. Here's the canopy that we saw at the beginning there. Quite thin. It's quite thin, but it's in good condition. Now, what about the spray job? You know what? People can get hung up on the spray job, and there's a run here and a run there. I don't see any runs in this at all, and it looks great. And more importantly, look at the colour of that. That is going to show up a great deal in the sky. So very happy with that. Nice canopy. Carbon fibre frame. Carbon fibre frame parts. I'd say they were probably 2 mil thickness. Which is nice. Obviously the rotor holder, a couple of battery trays and some branded straps, and interestingly enough they're not just your Velcro straps, but they've got like a plastic cover to them, which just makes them a little bit more robust. Very nice. Some stickers, of course, we're going to be adding those to the things like the landing gear and so on. And here we've got some rubber trim and some R-clips and a cable there, which I assume will be to hold the canopy on. Straight away I'm noticing that every single bag every single bag is numbered, is labelled. So very good, very happy with that. Let's pop that one back in there. Let's place you down there, my love. Let's have a look at this box here. Not sure, this is box B. Let's go, where's box A then? Was that box A? I don't know what box that is. Well, that's not box A. What box? Oh, there's box A. Let's go for box A. Box A, inside box A. As I said, I'm going to try and open this so that you can see it. Yeah, it's quite interesting, the old clone thing, isn't it? I mean, you know, we've all got televisions, but they're all made by different companies. And actually, when you delve into it, you'll find that the panels are only made by two large companies in the world, LG, and the other name eludes me. But basically, a lot of televisions use exactly the same back panels. You don't know because you're not going to take your TV apart. Look at this in here, how it's packaged. Lovely. Everything is labelled. Everything is labelled. Oh, they look very nice. Anodised aluminium, anodised alloy. Again, everything is labelled. And of course, while I'm doing this, remembering that I'm a Trex fanboy and never ever built a helicopter unless it's a Trex, a T-Rex, notwithstanding the blades, of course, but some more alloy. Very nice. Again, everything labelled. Yeah. So again, more really robust framework there. Yeah, we really slam on the clone helicopter side of things, but in my view, if you get a clone helicopter, if you want to call it a clone, that's of this quality, then you know, at what point do you draw a line? I'm going to draw a line for ALZRC. This is not a clone, because the quality is outstanding for a start. And I think they've been around long enough now that actually they can brand this as they do with their 420 and their 380 helicopters. They are ALZRC helicopters. The Night Fury is their brand of helicopter. And I think that the argument in the community right now about clones in general, and ALZRC have been hammered, absolutely hammered. I don't think they've never not been hammered. But I think the argument there for you know, clones being a bad thing, it ruins the hobby and so on, I think is completely and utterly flawed. If anything, it's going to broaden the hobby. This original is based off of the Saab 500. Saab withdrew that and then created the 570. But look, this whole package, the super combo, the servos, the motor, the fly barless unit, everything that you could need except a battery and a receiver, all of that is about 500 quid. You couldn't get a frame for 500 quid that was Saab, and yet the devil has enabled lots of people to enter the hobby. Now ALZRC, they've got four main sort of products, if you like. They've got Devil, which is their helicopters. They've got Rider, which is their radio controlled motorbikes. They've got Element, which is a gimbal system, and Mr. Q, which is their UAVs. So, you know, they have established themselves in their own right, and they've been pretty much going as ALZRC since 2007, but really seriously since 2009. Right, okay, well, there we go, there's box A. It all looks, everything is all labelled, you know, and that is of course going to be a huge help when it comes to building it. Something I've noticed straight away, unless I'm shocked in one of the other boxes, and that is that there's no instructions. I think the instructions is on their website. I'm not a fan, as I've said before, of going to websites and downloading PDFs and all that. I like something in my hand. So, you know, that's one point against them not providing that. But again, you know, I might be surprised. So very happy with box A. You know, if you remember when we done the T-Rex unboxing, you know, all we got there was just, you know, blank cardboard, and that was it. Already, you know, I feel already that this is a much better package. So yeah, box B. Let's have a look in box B. in summary, same as box A, super impressive. Everything is bagged, everything is labelled up. The parts look very, very high quality. I don't see poor machining anywhere or anything. Now, go back 10 years or so and go and buy a Hobby King 500 torque tube and you tell me that that was good manufacturing. Or go and buy yourself one of the old Taros, one of the first ones that come out. They were absolutely god awful. I'm not subscribing to the fact that clones are bad news for the hobby. All they actually do is provide you an option, provide you options, diversity, competition. Competition breeds excellence in general terms. The K-bar that was, which I think is in here, we'll get to that. The K-bar, which was a clone of Mikado's early Neo, that fly barless system there caused a world of controversy, and I think you know, Mikado then pulled from using the manufacturer to build their fly barless, their electronic systems. Well, I should never have sent them there in the first place if they were that precious about it. They updated their software, sent out a fairly threatening note, and you can still see that note actually from Mikado on their website, on their Wikipedia, and it does threaten you. It does say if you use, you know, any form of clone system which is a clone of their own, then they will track you by IP and they will take you to court. I almost challenged them to do that with me. Come on then, do you know what, I'll go to court with you, because at the end of the day you haven't got a leg to stand on, not a leg. So legally, international legally, they haven't got a leg to stand on, you know, because you are the end user of something. If they've got an issue, go to bloody China, but of course they haven't. What they've done was they created their own ecosystem, the Mikado Neo system. They even made it so that you can't fly a Neo unless you use their radio transmitter, and that was their solution. And to be fair, most people, I've never come across anyone who doesn't like a Neo system or their controller. They produce high quality products, absolutely they do, Mikado, and it is the top of the range thing, and all the top pilots I guarantee will all fly Mikado and the Neo fly barless system. Okay, what's in this box? Let's have a look. Okay, here is the fabled K-bar that I was talking about. Now, we are going to be using the Micro Beast X for this helicopter, but there is nothing wrong with this as a fly barless unit at all. The only reason why I'm going to be using that is because it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And of course, Supermoon is a wizard on this, and he is my mentor, and so we're going to be using this for this helicopter rather than this. But in the package you get the K-bar, you get the cables, you get a USB cable, and of course you get a link to the software which is compatible. Hence the threat from Mikado that if you download this software and use it with a K-bar, they'll come hunting for you and they'll poke you in the chest and threaten you with all sorts of things. Oh, go away. But there we go. A Hobby Wing 100 amp, a Hobby Wing 100 amp boxed Hobby Wing. No, it's not cloned. This is not a copy. This is a genuine Hobby Wing 100 amp ESC. For a 500 size helicopter, which I think actually is probably, you know, it's very difficult to classify this one. It's 505 blades rather than 420 blades, which you'd normally find in a 500 helicopter. So perhaps a 550, I don't know. But the blades are 505, so normally for something that big, 60 to 80 amps, something like that would be more than enough for most people. But look, 100 amp ESC, the Platinum. I think this is the V3. Yeah, it is, Platinum V3. So your ASBox multifunction programmer that you've got for your Align systems, guess what? You can use it with this. You don't have to go out and buy a separate Hobby Wing one. You could use ASBox to program your ESC. We've then got the servos in here, and these are the DM1531S. I mean, you can see, hopefully you can see there. I mean, these are quality servos. These aren't cheap, nasty servos. They look automatically on the outside like MKS or a line or whatever, because they all basically use anodized aluminium and the sort of the sort of heatsink system that you can see there. My initial thoughts on these are that the heatsink lines that you can see here are useless, no good whatsoever. They're not deep enough really to be heat sinks. That's purely for aesthetics, if you like. But these are apparently good servos, and they're giving you metal servo horns, not plastic. And of course you've got a fairly chunky, I'd say that was a standard size, it indeed is. There's a standard size servo there for the tail, and I'd say these ones here, the three for the cyclic, for the aileron, pitch and elevator, I'd say these were probably midi sized, and this is a standard size. So they're using a big standard size for the tail. You have got some the typical sort of plastic servo horns on there and servo arms, but they're also giving you 3 high quality servo horns there as well, which we'll be using. Very nice. The motor, now I don't know, I think this is their own motor. Let's have a look. It looks like a Zenova or something like that, but no, it's stamped ALZRC. Yeah, don't like that. The circlip at the bottom there was loose. We'll obviously see why that's the case. That should be going on there. Yeah, very nice motor, anodized, plenty of motor length there, which you don't get with a lot of other brands. Fairly chunky, very nice looking motor. Very nice looking motor. Interestingly enough, I wonder if the Hobby Wing comes with the plugs already on the end. It'd be interesting to see. If they're not, then of course I'll put them on, but yeah, nice motor, happy with that. Right, cool. So far, look, I don't know about you, but I'm impressed. The K-bar story is interesting, isn't it? But there we go. That is the nature of this hobby. We profess, of course, to you know, have as many. You know, we want as many people as possible in this hobby. Come along, come fly. Hashtag keep RC helis alive. And then we go absolutely apeshit when a clone comes along and someone goes to fly it. Right, what's next? Okay, last box I believe. Let's have a look in here. It's probably the blades I expect. Okay. Yeah, okay, so there are our blades. John Salt actually took these out and checked the balance, etc. And found that they were really well balanced actually. If I remember right, the centre of gravity is roughly around 1/3 in, which tells me that you know, they're going to be quite a stable blade, and actually very nuanced as well between sport flying and smack 3D, which of course, as we all know, I can't do. So a nice set of blades there. Incidentally, you know, here's a 430 blade, which you would normally put on a 500 size helicopter, and here's the Devil. You can see they're significantly bigger, 505 mils versus the 430 size that you would normally see on a 500. Well, between 420 and 430 on a 500. It'd be lovely to have an industry standard, isn't it? What is it? Is it a 30, 60, 90, 50? Is it a 500, 425, 450, 470? Is ridiculous. There's so much choice there, diversity, which is, as I said, is a good thing. But let's have a standard. The tail boom. Is there anything in there? Yeah, there's a rod in here, which is a carbon rod for the rudder. Very good. And the boom here, which is carbon fibre. Yeah, that's carbon fibre. Unlike the Canopy, which is fiberglass. Obviously, and it's a good spray job. You know, it's not too bad at all. It's not mottled. Not mottled. There's no drips or anything. I mean, that's good. That's a good. That's a good job. Very nice. What else is in here? And we've got some brackets and some double-sided tape, etc. I think that's probably for mounting this onto the frame, etc. Very good. That's that one. We can throw that. We don't have to worry about that. Great. Brilliant. Do you know what? Let's put this and the canopy together. Give us some sort of idea. Let's do that. So you can see there, can't you? You know, if you ignore the fact that there's no frame, etc. You know, this is not a little helicopter. This is quite a big old helicopter. It's not little at all, and it's a beautiful colour there. I hasten to say sab yellow. It's not. I mean, crikey, you can't. You know, but look at that. Look at that. You know, you're not exactly going to not see that. I will put up another video once I've finished building it, and I'll give you my thoughts on the build. Right, let's sum up. There you go, legends. That was an unpacking of the Devil 505 Angry Bird from ALZRC. Again, thanks to Nassim who sold it to me, and I'm really looking forward to putting this together. No written instructions, but every single bag is well labelled and all of the parts look, you know, quality finish. It's as simple as that. The argument of whether the ALZRC 505 is a clone is a bone of contention. It may well have originally been designed on the SAB 500, but the fact of the matter is that ALZRC have been going long enough now and producing quality goods that, in my view, they stand on their own field. I think they shouldn't have, when they first launched, you know, used the Angry Bird and got into trouble in America there, and obviously they very much clearly did clone the SAB 500 and of course the Mikado fly barless system that they then named K-Bar. But look, you and I have got a fridge in our house. It's white or grey. A fridge only does one thing. There's only a certain amount of designs you can have before ultimately it will look like someone else's. And the same with cars and all over the place. In my view, I think clones are a good thing for the radio controlled hobby, provided that the quality that you receive is as you would expect. In other words, don't copy unless you aim to be better. And that is ALZRC's pretty much their motto. It's the Chinese culture to copy and copy and copy until you become the master at it. And if the rest of the world don't like that, well, my final word is this. Don't go to China and use their expertise to build your wares. Simple as that. And if you do, then accept the fact that it is part of Chinese culture is to take what it is that once upon a time was yours and make it better. In my view, the ALZRC helicopter is on its own ground. I look forward to building it, and I don't think it's a copy at all. It's just another helicopter we can fly. Till next time, take care, bye bye.